Alright, so in this video series, I'm going to introduce the basics of coding and working in R. We're going to focus on basic R syntax, and then we're also going to look at the tidyverse and ggplot for doing graphs. So this is supposed to be kind of a crash course in how to get started with R coding. Okay, so in this first example, we're just going to look at some basics of working with variables. So in R and any other coding language, variables are basically how you are going to generally interact with your data, right? So you have some information is generally going to be stored in memory, and the variable basically points to that information so you can work with it or use it. Okay, so in R, variables are defined using this symbol, so less than dash. You can also use equals, but this is considered the more standard R practice. So I'm just going to go down here to the console and type a bit just to show you a few examples. And let me make this a tiny bit bigger. I'll bump this up to 24. There we go. It's a little big, but I think that'll help us read it a bit better. Okay, so again, so defining a variable is just simply variable name and what you want to save to it. Now we have a variable. Note that here in RStudio, that variable pops up over here in our environments. And then if we want to view that variable, you can just type the variable name, or you could do print and then print the variable. Either way. So in this case, I'm basically setting this variable equal to 1, so it references the value 1 as a number. And then this example, I'm referencing a string, and you can see those are placed in quotes. And then here, I'm representing a Boolean value, so true or false. So we'll talk about some of those different data types here shortly. But that's basically the syntax. Again, you could also do like x is equal to 1. That'll give you the same result. But generally, this is the preferred method in R. But variable assign, both of those symbols work for variable assignment, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's the basics of variables. Just some notes on variable names. They are case sensitive. So, for example, uppercase X and lowercase x are considered two separate variables. So if I did uppercase x 8, lowercase x 7, right? So, there's also rules about symbols that you can use. Like for example, you can't start with a number. So like 1x, that would give you an error. But x1 would work. In terms of variable names, it's common for people to run things together and use camel case. So something like var1. So the word is not capitalized, and then all the subsequent words are ran together, but they're capitalized. You can also use dots, so var1, something like that, or underscores. Doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, that's simple variables. Here again, I was just using this simple print function to print them. You can also just type the variable into the cursor to print.